Hello, and welcome to Dickinson's Real Deal. On this show, I help members of the public to get the very best price for their antiques and valuables. We give you a choice. Sit down with one of our regular dealers. They're going to try and tempt you with a cash offer on the table today.
£80?
No, a little bit more, yeah.
£90?
A little bit more.
Oh, like £90.
If I don't think that's enough money, I'm going to say no way. You can gamble, place those same goods into an auction in the hope that you will get a little bit more money there. Today the show comes to you from Skipton in Yorkshire. There's a great crowd of people. They've been here since early this morning. They are eager to sit down with our dealers. They want to do business. They want to walk away with cash in their pockets or gamble and go to auction. But either way, they want the real deal.
Let's get straight to it and see what's arrived on Cheryl Halkney's table.
We've got three very pretty little rings, but little being the word, but very cute, very pretty. Let's see what we can do.
Be prepared, Cheryl. Bill's a bit of a joker.
I'll take £1,000, but if she wants to give me two, I don't mind.
Bill, where did you get these dress rings from?
Well, one of my aunties died, and we've had them for years, actually.
And what's made you think about selling them?
Well, I just thought you were on the show, and I thought, well, I'll come along and see you, because I've never seen you before. It's just beauty.
Oh, you're very kind. Are you sure you're not doing a bit of this charm and flattery to get the price up?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about these rings. Was this one belonging to your aunt, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So a little 3-stone diamond ring set in 18-carat gold.
Lovely.
Okay. Very pretty. Where did this one come from?
Well, as I say, it could have been my mother's.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got a really pretty diamond and ruby, I think that one there.
Yeah.
Again, in 18 carats.
Yeah, they're all beautiful rings, aren't they?
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure you've got a figure in mind, Bill.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what you want?
We'll set off with £2,000 and work down.
Shall I leave now?
No, well, we can work down from that.
Well, what would you do if you sold them to me today?
I wouldn't mind a trip to the moon. Anything exciting and a change.
Bill, let's go. 50, 100, £150.
Oh. No, that's just for one of them.
No, that's for 3 of them.
I can't believe it.
Well, as I always say, antique jewellery is a great buy. It's very reasonable.
Well, you know...
And they are tiny stones. As pretty as they are tiny.
It's just a bit like this walking stick. It'll last forever. It's a pity I couldn't.
I'm sure you will, the way you're going. 200, Bill.
Well, it'd be nice with 2 O's on end at 200.
He's wanting 2,000, David.
Well, we have 2 estimations. We have 180 to 220, and we have 2 to 3. I do think the 2 to 3 is a little bit ambitious with the size of the rings, the stones. 200 is on the table. Is that as far as you're going to go, Cheryl?
You might squeeze me a little bit, because I do like a diamond ring.
I'm smiling because, you know, this gentleman here, he's got a sparkle in his eye. I'm not so sure I would say to him, he can squeeze me a little bit, because he may take you...
Squeezing Cheryl.
At your word, Cheryl.
And I can't stand the excitement now.
OK. My advice is, if you can get more, that's worth a deal.
So, Bill, how about if I put 20 down? 220, we've got a deal, have we?
Yes, well, thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Good luck with the rings.
Thank you. Bill squeezed an extra bit of cash out of me that I didn't really want to give, but it was such a charmer. How could I not? I'll probably never sell them.
We'll find out if you do later, Cheryl. Our next seller is Bob. What have you got for us?
What I brought in today is 2 vintage cars, which are also decanter holders, and musical boxes. They're very much a curio item, and I think a lot of people will like them, and I hope to get £50 for them.
Let's see if these get Tony Gearing honking his horn or racing away.
What delights have you brought me here today?
There's 2 vintage classic cars. They're decanter holders, musical boxes from the 1960s. I think very unusual. You won't get another chance to buy something like this.
I don't think I want another chance. So musical boxes. Well, that's something a bit more interesting about them, I guess. So I presume that you pick the bottle up and the music starts.
That's it.
Well, it can only be that way, can't it? And do you know the tune?
Not off the top of my head. I tend not to wind them up because...
I think you're winding me up.
Don't let him kid you. Do you pick the bottle up? He knows that. He's got one at home.
Actually, I have seen these before quite a few times when I was doing house clearance back in the day. And in my experience in handling things like this is definitely the wrong bottle.
It might be.
That is, you put that in, haven't you?
I didn't, but that's how I got it.
So you got them empty, they weren't...
Yes. Well, this is a dual fuel one.
A dual fuel?
Yeah, this is brandy and rum.
Both-sided? No way.
How'd you like to make a bid? I'm sure they
I don't think
fly
I'm
off the shelf.
allowed to put coins on the table.
Careful now. No, I apologise. Sometimes our dealers get a bit over-enthusiastic. Get your money on that table now.
Did you see that? See how far my arm is up my back? I think I've got a £2 coin here, honestly.
I was expecting a bit more on that. A bit more.
Well, let's see what David's got to say.
Well, it is what it is. They are decorative. Yes, they are kitsch, but they are interesting, and the estimate is between £20 and £40. Make a sporting offer. Never insult a seller with a £2 coin. A £2 coin? Never had it on the show before. Get 20 quid in.
Come on, you've got to take them off my hands.
Where's that tenner gone?
Oh, that's fine, you've got some 20s there.
No, I can't go 20.
Don't be fobbed off with this tenner, son. Get the 20 on the table. Now, if you want, we can move that one to one side. This is the one that he showed great interest in, and £20 is probably all right. If it was me, in your pocket, mate, and down the pub, and then we'll sort that one out on another occasion.
I'll take the 22 for that one.
£20, my final 4 stopper.
OK, done. I'll take the 20.
Bob, it's been absolutely great. One of the best ones. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. I think he's a good sport and he's done me a good deal there. And unfortunately, I've still got the other one to take home, and somehow I've got to get shot of it.
Good luck with that, Bob. Across the room, Pamela's getting ready to face Joe Brayshaw.
I've brought my father's service medals to sell today, and hopefully I'm going to raise a lot of money for charity, so I'm really looking forward to the deal.
How and what's your connection to them?
Well, they belonged to my father, who's deceased now, and basically they've been stuck in the attic. And so I thought it was an opportune time to come and see if they were worth anything, and hopefully any funds that they make will go to British Legion and Help for Heroes.
So has your father been gone long?
Approximately about 7 years.
So you're comfortable?
I am.
Now dealing with it?
Yeah.
Right. It's a wonderful collection. I'm, surprised that you can kind of let it go in a way. It must be quite hard.
It is, but I'm an only child, so I'd rather that somebody enjoyed them and the money can be put to good use.
Yeah. And your 2 charities that you've chosen are...
Forces related, yeah.
So it's nice. These are his dress medals.
That's correct, yeah.
That he would use for fine do's and
That's
things.
right,
And did he use them?
He did, yes. I can remember them going, and my mother with the cocktail dress, and yes.
Yeah.
I used to love seeing that, yes.
Yeah. And then he even has a letter from the Queen for his BEM, and all in the lovely box and everything. And then this one here is his long service
That's correct,
medal.
yeah.
Right. I know that collections of medals like this, a little history, someone's history, have a real premium. My advice, I can make you an offer, but my advice is to take it straight to auction. I understand that the auctioneer has agreed not to take any commission.
That's correct, yeah.
Because of the causes that it's going to.
That's right.
And your generosity. Because it's such a fab set of medals that document somebody's military history. I just think it should go to auction, yes, David.
Well, I've just heard what Joe says, and I think that is the right direction. What I want to stress here, you are going to give anything that this collection brings to charity, which is, well, it's just a wonderful thing to do, and I think you are doing the right thing. The auctioneer is going to forego his commission, which means that everything that is achieved in the auction for your late father's medals will go to the charity. Happy about that?
Very happy.
I think on the day, that is the only deal. That is going to be the real deal.
Does today's auctioneer Kevin Kendall have high hopes?
We're going to raise a good bit of money for charity. Medals sell well anyway. They should do really well.
Pamela's joined the Duke in the sale room where they're about to go under the gavel.
There is a reserve of £500 on these items. 500 to 800 is the estimation. We're hoping to get them away today. We're hoping to sell them, and they are going to a wonderful cause. So, what made you think about bringing these out at this time, your late father's medals, and donating them to these charities?
Well, basically, they were just lurking in a cupboard, and I thought I might as well do something worthwhile with them. I haven't got any children, so I thought they might as well go for a worthy cause. My father earned them, so I don't deserve to spend the money.
I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing, because more so today, because our armed forces are in conflict. So thank you for doing that. They're coming up now, a collection of medals that belong to your late father. Let's hope we get them away for a good price. Let's see what they bring.
Yep, what can I ask then? 500 for them for a start. Oh, well, we've got bids on the net already, so we're going to come right down. We're at 300, 300 bid, 300, 300, 300, 320, 320, 320, 340, 360, 380, 380.
Come on.
380. 380, 400, 400, 450, 450, 500 now on the internet, 500.
£500 on the internet. We are at the reserve.
500, don't forget it's for charity as well. 500 bid. £500 we're going to sell. If there's no further, you're shooing out. Hammer's up now at 500.
Yes. Gavel has gone down at £500, right on the reserve. Now, your first reaction to the £500, are you satisfied?
I'm very pleased, yes.
OK, so your father's medals have gone back in some way to the services, and they are going to make a contribution. I think it's just well worthwhile, and it's very generous of you. So, on the day, the real deal was here in the sale room, £500.
What a fantastic result for Pamela. Coming up, a familiar story at Henry's table.
Where did you find it?
Car boot.
Oh, this is going to be another one of those car boot bonanzas, isn't it? Yeah.
But will Henry grab himself a bargain? Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Skipton in North Yorkshire.
Hello.
Over at Henry Nichols' table, Darren and Ken have brought in a gold football fob.
It's a good piece of nearly local interest up here, but I mean, wherever you go with something like that, there are always going to be collectors for it, so yeah, I'm going to have a go at it. Tell me what we've brought in today to show me.
Well, we've got a football medal there.
Yep.
And it says Burn Casuals.
OK.
Now, I don't know anything about it. We bought it because it had Burn Casual and we come from Burnley.
Right.
So that's the reason we bought it, because it looked, enamel was good and everything on it.
Lovely.
Like that.
So how long have you had it?
How long have you had it? How long?
OK.
1 year.
Let's discuss what we've got here. This is a watch fob. OK, now this is the more interesting of the two. you're right in what you say, Burnley Casual Football Club. Lovely claret and blue enamelling on the front. And then we turn it over to reveal that it's Challenge Shield 1909 to 10, F. Humsen Treasurer. It's obviously 9 carat gold, and it's what they call rose gold. And the way they achieve rose gold is by putting more copper into the mix, and it gives it that lovely rosy sort of look to it. So that's that one, and then we come across to this little watch fob here, which again is really rather sweet. It's 9 carat gold. It's in a shield shape with a crown above it. Okay, quite often you've got a cartouche in the middle that's actually plain, but quite often you'd find that you'd have somebody's initials engraved into it.
Yeah.
But generally, it's just a nice thing. Where did you find it?
You found it. Car boot.
Oh, car boot. This is going to be another one of those car boot bonanzas, isn't it? Yeah, okay. What I need to do is get some money out and see whether we can have a deal. Okay, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Am I getting warm? 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. £220. You want a lot more? Okay. 240, 260, 280, 300. David, what have you got to say?
Right, Darren. £300 is on the table. The independent valuers are saying £200 to £300, and I think that's a fairly good estimation. Henry's put down £300. Do we know what you paid for them?
Yes. Tell him.
Do you want to tell us, Darren?
How much you paid?
How much did you pay, Darren? I know you're a bit embarrassed to tell me, Darren. Tell.
240.
If it was me, Darren, I would take my hand across that table and grab hold of that £300. The exit is down there. And I would run fast to the exit with that 300 quid. That is a good price.
Thank you, David. We've got 300 on the table. Do you want a deal? 300? Darren, thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.
That's a £60 profit for Darren and Ken. Great work, guys. Across the room, David sat down to find out more about the Yorkshire furniture maker Robert Thompson, the Mouseman of Kilburn.
I've got Suzanne Callahan here. Now, you're attached to it. Is it the Craven Museum?
It is, Craven Museum and Gallery in Skipton. It's a local history museum, so we tell the story of the Craven district, which is the southern part of the Dales. So it goes right back to Neolithic times and almost up to the present day.
Now, when we come forward to this Robert Thompson furniture, of course we all know it as Mouseman furniture, there is a wonderful picture here. And that gentleman with the cap on, that is Robert Thompson.
It is, yes.
Okay. The gentleman stood next to him, who is he?
That's Kenneth Hodgson, who is the gentleman that collected all the Mouseman objects that you see here today.
How many items did he have in his collection?
He had 170 altogether.
Wow.
Which is fantastic.
He liked Mouseman, didn't he?
He did indeed, yeah.
Now let's talk about the Robert Thompson, the Mouseman Company. It was started by his father, and he was working there, of course, in the late 19th century. I suppose I'm right in thinking that Robert probably came into the business as a young man and then started to flourish more in the early part of the 20th century.
He did, yes, that's right. He originally trained actually as an engineer and then came back to work in his father's business here in North Yorkshire at a place called Kilburn.
What is the story, how it came about that Robert Thompson chose the mouse as his signature?
Well, the story goes that he and his workmen were in a church doing some renovation work, and a little mouse scurried across the floor, and one of the workers said to Robert Thompson, "We're as poor as church mice." And that kind of gave him the idea of putting the the mouse on his furniture.
Now, the earliest piece that's on the table are these two wall brackets. These, of course, are 1960s, the bookends.
They are, yes.
And the bowl.
Yes.
I just think the whole thing is absolutely fascinating. So if you want to go along and see this lovely collection, you are at
Craven Museum and Gallery on Skipton High Street in the Town Hall.
Go along and see these items. I'm sure you will get caught up in the romance of the story of Robert Mouseman Thompson. It's amazing. Go and see. You'll love it.
Some Clarice Cliff is next for Cheryl. Let's see what she's thinking.
Not the rarest of pattern, unfortunately. It's crocus, so it does have a bit of a set price, but still very wanted, very collectible. We'll have a go.
One particular piece that I have, I've seen a valuation for sale on the internet at over £250. So my expectations may be a little bit high, but that's what I'm expecting.
Hello, Betty.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, you've brought some Clarice Cliff.
Yes.
Where did you get your Clarice Cliff from?
In my loft.
In your loft?
Yes.
Did you know it was there?
No, I didn't. I was having it reinsulated and came across a few boxes.
Okay. Well, for me, the most interesting piece, or the piece I like best, is this little toe strap. It's really cute. I'll just quickly turn it over, and of course, there's the crocus pattern name, and we've got Bizarre by Clarice Cliff. Extremely well known, very, very collectible. But the pieces like the toe straps are always a lot more appealing to collectors. And it's got to be in perfect condition. That's the most important. The little jug there, unfortunately, has got a chip. So that's going to affect its value. And then you've brought along to just a side plate. And this will have been, you know, there may have been 6 or 12 of these originally, part of a big dinner service. These little plates here, they're not Clarice Cliff, they're Newport, but I think these are actual saucers from little coffee cans. So I'm going to base my value just on this collection as a whole, taking into account that we've got some oddments and some damage. So really the main value will be for the toast rack. So we'll get some cash. All right. I'm sure you've got a rough idea of what you might like. Okay. 20, 40 pounds.
No, a bit more than that. Yeah.
What about 60 pounds?
No, I was expecting a bit more, please.
You're expecting a bit more. Well, I would have given you more, but I don't like the damage there on the jug. The little saucers are quite incidental, and the plate, again, just a side plate, that's really what I'm buying. So, Betty, £60, that's my final offer. What would you like to do?
No, I was expecting more than 60.
OK, so you're going to go to auction, are you?
Yes, all right.
Well, the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Maybe I should have gone a little bit more, but hey-ho, can't win them all.
Betty can't make the auction, but has put a discretionary reserve of £150 on her items, and David's there to look after business.
They're coming up now. A reserve of £150 has been placed on it. Will it make the 150? Well, it should do. Clarice Cliff is still doing quite well in the sale room, though these are oddments, but I have a feeling we should get close to it. Let's see what happens.
What are we going to ask then? Couple of hundred? Couple of hundred? Start me £100 then. £100, thank you. 100 bid. 110, 120, 130. 130 now, 130, 140 online.
They're close to the reserve. 140 online.
50 on the phones, yes? No, 140 on the internet, and we're going to sell.
I'm going to say yes, because the reserve was 150. I think it's near enough.
140 if you're holding this time then at 140.
I've given the auctioneer permission to sell, even though the reserve was 150. It was near enough, so £140, and we have some commission to take off. Quick calculation, I think that's just over £114. We're going to be sending that off to Betty. That is the real deal, and I think she'll be happy with that.
Coming up, a couple of unusual items in the den. Have you any idea what they're for? Find out after the break.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal.
In the dealer's den, seller Graham is raring to go.
Well, I brought a couple of interesting medical items in, and I know they've got a little bit of value. I'm just hoping to get 3 figures for them.
Because these items are such curiosities, the Duke and auctioneer Kevin Kendall are keeping a close eye on what Joe puts down.
Right, can you explain what these are?
This one is called a monaural stethoscope. Used on the ear like that, listen to your chest.
Okay.
And this is a reflex hammer for tapping you on the knee, and your leg flicks out to test your reflexes.
Right. And how do you own them?
I bought them a while ago from auction. I just buy interesting items, and because I knew you were in town, I thought I'd just fetch them along.
Right. What do you think, about 1910, 1900, that
say
sort
so.
of age?
Yeah.
In the past, have you had examples like this in the sale room?
Exact examples, not very many.
Is it common, I mean?
But we do see medical instruments, yeah, and they are very popular.
What kind of people buy them? Are they doctors, surgeons, people associated with the medical side, or are they just dealers and collectors of anything a bit quirky?
There's a mix of both, really. You've got the treen collectors who collect the treen, which is the obviously the turned wood. You'll also get retired medical professionals that like a bit of something on the mantelpiece just to remind them of days gone by.
Now, Joe likes all kinds of unusual items. Let's see what she puts on the table.
I think they're fab, but I don't know what they're worth. We'll have a bash, we'll have a bash, we'll have a bash, we'll have a bash, we'll have a bash. £20.
No.
Is that a no?
That's a definite no.
£40.
Still a no.
Is it still a no? £60.
Still a no.
See, they're boys' toys, aren't they? That's the trouble.
Doctors. You need to be a doctor, don't you?
Need to be a doctor. I just like playing doctors and nurses, but we'll not go there. £70.
No, a little bit more, yeah.
£70 on the table, £80 to £120 is the independent valuers. You're saying round about the £100?
I think we could get 100 in the sale room, yeah.
I think you're right. I think it might even get a little bit more in the sale room. I'm going to get in there and tell our seller, no, we need some more money. Just see if I can break the ice a little bit here. 80 to 120 is where the independent valuers and auctioneers are. That sounds realistic to me and not too expensive, Joe. I mean, what we've got here are these medical items. They are of a bygone age, and they're very tactile. They're little pieces of tree, and they're very interesting. This, of course, for listening to the heart after you've been out dancing on a Friday. And this one, of course, for making sure the old knees are working for a bit of the dancing on Friday. So I'm going to say well worth £100 plus a little bit easy. And you will sell them, Joe. You know that.
There you go. You've heard it.
Heard it from the Oracle. £80?
No, a little bit more, yeah.
£90?
A little bit more.
Oh, I like £90.
If you swap that brown one for a purple one, we've got a deal.
We've got a deal?
Yeah.
Do I want to own two?
Of course you do. You need them on your Friday night out.
You've got a weird with words.
Check your ticker and check your check if your knees
I'm
work.
still alive when I get in. £100.
Smashing. We've got a deal.
Thank you very much. Lovely deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Across the room, Angela knows what she's after for her pair of vases.
I'm hoping to get 250 for them, something in that region.
But is Tony feeling keen?
Hello, I'm Tony Gearing.
And I'm Angela.
Lovely to meet you, Angela.
Hello.
And what have you brought in for us today?
Just these two vases.
Can you tell me anything about them?
I honestly don't know anything at all about them. I got them from my mother that passed away 2 years ago, so... But no, I don't know nothing about them.
Metalec. German Art Nouveau. Around 1900, probably about 1905. No damage to them at all anywhere? No restoration?
No.
How long have they been in the family?
So maybe 10, 12 years.
For me, the shape's lovely, but the colour's terrible.
Oh.
Grey, brown. Yeah, well, it's kind of my field, really, Art Nouveau, so I should have a go at them. Let's see what I can do here for you, Angela. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100.
I was looking for a bit more than that.
If the colours were more vibrant or not with a grey, dull, sort of like a rainy day background, then I think they would obviously be worth more, but I think the colour really lets them down.
Right.
Terribly so. They are late for Metlac, so I'm going to stick to my guns here, and that will be my final offer.
Well, I'll tell you what the independent valuers and the auctioneer say. They say £200 to £300. What I can tell you, in my experience, Metlac used to be hugely popular. Americans used to like it, but it seems to have really dropped down. They are fairly glamorous, and they may well be worth a gamble at the auction unless you get more money on the table. But I must warn you, Metlac is not the flavour of the month.
They are, as David said, glamorous, and 200 to 300. It's a day out of the auction, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think I'll take them to auction then.
Well, I wish you luck, and I'm sure you'll do better than £100. It's just, for me, it's not my colour, darling.
No. OK, thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Well, let's head straight over to the sale room and see if Angela's gamble works out.
On the dealer's day, the off-screen valuers thought £200 to £300 would be a fair price. The auctioneer seemed reasonably confident at £200 to £300. We hope to get the reserve of 200, but it is difficult at this moment. Let's find out.
Where are we going to go? We'll start at 100 and see how we go from there. 100, 110, 110, 110. 20 where now? 110.
Come on.
110, 110, 110. Hold them now. 110. They've gone out of fashion, haven't they?
He was quite confident on the day of getting 200 to 300, but
110 if you hold them this time then at 110. They are reserved, I am sorry.
the auctioneer thought 200 to 250. The real deal I'm going to award to Tony, our dealer, at £100, but they are worth a bit more than that, OK?
OK.
Unhappy?
No, I'm fine. Fine, thank you.
Just, that's the way it goes on the day. The merchandise is just not in fashion.
Coming up, Henry's next guest has a game plan and she's not budging an inch.
That brings us up to 200.
Yes.
Do you want me to go a bit more?
Oh, yes.
Welcome back to Dickinson's Real Deal from Skipton in North Yorkshire. Our last item of the day is a gold cameo brooch, and 84-year-old Eileen is certain she's a fair match for our Henry.
I think he's very nice, very pleasant, and he's got a nice smile. It might be hard because he's got to make a profit, but at the same time, at my age, I have lived and learned.
Well, let's see if you can show Henry a thing or two.
Tell me a little bit about what you've brought in to show me today.
I brought you this cameo because my husband bought it for me nearly 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, I wore it for a while, but as I got older, I decided it was too big. So my husband bought me this one only last May.
Well, let's have a look at what we've got. You're right, it is a cameo. It's in a later mount here. What I like about cameos are there's such a variety of them.
Yes.
This one I can see just here is signed.
What is
just
that?
on the side there. It's signed by Tommaso Solini, who was an Italian cameo carver working in the 19th century.
Yes.
So we can date it to the sort of latter part of the 19th century, maybe 1870, 1880.
Yeah.
The subject matter is nice. It's not your standard cameo that you
No,
tend to
that's
see.
right. You don't often see men.
Probably commissioned by someone to have it specifically
I
carved.
see.
You know,
Yeah.
who it is, I don't know. I really don't. But I do know it's of good quality. It's in really remarkably good condition for its age, and I love it.
Oh, good.
I absolutely love it.
Good.
Well, where do I want to start then? I think 20, 40, 60, 80, £100. How does that seem to you?
I think it's a bit on the low side.
A bit on the low side.
Yeah.
Are we far away?
You could be.
Don't give in yet, Eileen. Wait to hear what the Duke's got to say.
David?
I've come in to give a little bit of assistance, but not that I think you need much assistance. You're handling the situation well. But let me tell you what the independent valuers and the auctioneer say. 150 to 250, 2 to 3. Now, at the moment, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, I think £100 is a start. And I think we need to see more money on the table.
Thank you, David. So, we've started off with 100.
Yes.
So I'm going to tempt you a bit more.
I think so.
20, 40, 60, 80. That brings us up to 200.
Yes, yes.
Do you want me to go a bit more?
Oh, yes.
OK. 220. 240. 260.
What about 300?
300.
Yes.
I need David's assistance. I'm out of my depth here, David.
I'm smiling because I'm not so sure I'd have dared perhaps push him to the 300. I believe it's worth the 300, by the way.
I was told that he likes cameos.
Well, you're absolutely right. I'm going to say stick to your £300, dig in there and get as near as you can. When you get that, then I think it's a good deal.
Well, that's good.
OK.
That's good. 300.
We can make it less.
You couldn't make it less. Be nice for 300.
How about 280?
What about 300 and we can finish the deal?
How about 290?
You don't want to be splitting into a £10 note because you're not a skimpy type. So I think you need to put another 20 and we'll finish the deal.
I think I've met my match. I'm going to take this £10 note away. £300. Do we have a deal?
Yes, we do, sir.
Eileen, it's been a pleasure.
Are you sure?
Absolutely positive.
Right.
You've been a star.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What can I say? I feel like I've been put through a mangle and hung out to dry. I think the profit margin on the cameo is going to be quite tight, but I do have a customer that would like to buy it, so I'm happy to pay the money to make a little bit.
Our sellers have walked away with over £1,500 for their items. But have our dealers turned a profit on their buys? Well, all but one. Poor Tony. The only thing he bought today was the car drink decanter for £20, and reluctantly at that.
Get your money on that table now.
Did you see that? See how far my arm is up my back?
And it's still looking for a new home. Jo, on the other hand, did rather well with her only buy.
Now I've parted with £100 of my hard-earned money for 2 medical instruments. Fingers are crossed.
And it must have worked, as she made a little extra for her purse when she sold them on to a specialist dealer. Cheryl handed over £220 to Bill for his 3 gold and diamond rings.
How could I not? I'll probably never sell them.
Then she must have jumped for joy when a buyer came along and bought them at a trade fair. That leaves us with Henry, who's been rocking the deals today. He was confident in paying £300 for the football fob.
I mean, wherever you go with something like that, there are always going to be collectors for it.
But he's still waiting for the right buyer. And the cameo he thought he'd pay too much for...
I think the profit margin on the cameo is going to be quite tight. I think probably maybe £20 at most.
Well, his cameo collector was happy to pay more than Henry had thought. What do you think of that, Henry?
Better to make a little bit than nothing at all.
Wise words indeed.
We've had a really good day. Exciting, plenty of people, lots of action, lots of buying, lots of selling. That's what we like to see. Don't forget to join me, David Dickinson, next time for Dickinson's Real Deal. TTFN, ta-ta for now.